We highlight problems and issues here, but we also like to talk about solutions. So let's talk about solutions for Portland's homeless crisis. One big idea is building more tiny home villages. The general concept is an outdoor site with a set of tiny homes for secure individual storage and sleeping quarters, and that they would be clustered around a shared central facility with restrooms and other services. The city already has some, but Commissioner Dan Ryan has promised to build 6 more. They were supposed to open last year, which did not happen, so we'll see when they actually get off the ground. In the meantime, Portland State University just released a big study on how effective these villages are and what makes them successful. One of the biggest takeaways is that people living in the villages, they tend to be pretty happy with the model. 86% say they're satisfied or very satisfied with their pod as a place to live, and a large majority said they're satisfied with their villages and neighborhoods. But whenever a shelter like this opens up, we always do hear from the neighbors who are understandably concerned about living so close to them. Here's what the researchers found out about that.
One of the top concerns that neighbors had before the village opened was the behavior of residents. That was at 44%. And once that the village was actually open, that dropped to 29%. So seeing that the behaviors that they were worried about weren't actually playing out. That said, concerns about increases in trash, a big topic of conversation these days, was still an issue and a concern by neighbors. And
the other question is, how should these villages be run? Well, the study found that most village residents want to share in decision-making for their sites and have a degree of self-governance.
One example would be at the Clackamas County Veterans Village. While it's a managed village, they have an elected community council of villagers who do make decisions within a range. So, for example, should the village have chickens or not would be an example of the kind of things that they decide on. And so building in that is really important. The question of should they be self-governed or not, I think we want to support people who are experiencing homelessness to advocate for themselves.
The study also highlighted places where existing villages have fallen short, including making sure people have enough food to eat.
Just under half of the villagers we surveyed were food insecure, suggesting that while villages are helping some individuals meet their basic needs for food, there's still work that needs to be done to ensure that everyone has access to food.
Researchers also found that existing villages serve a small number of residents who are Black, Indigenous, or other people of color. Those groups make up 40% of Multnomah County's homeless population, but only 17% of village residents interviewed for the study.